guys, this video starts out with me taking a little trip to situate the oil problem that I've been having. For the last couple months, I've been having a problem with the oil being black right after the oil change. Right after maybe 500 miles, I look at my oil, check my oil, and the oil would be literally black as if I've already ridden like 5,000 miles. So I took it to Harley, and I made them aware that the bike had been making some clicking noises, as well as my oil was low after the 500 miles. So then they got the bike, did what they did, and come back, and then I'm thinking the problem is resolved. So what they fixed was he claimed I had a bad clutch, and then he said the compensator was bad, and that's all taken care of with my extended warranty. So then I get the bike back, and I'm in the service area, and I crank the bike up, and the bike still has that same ticking noise as if nothing has been resolved. Another thing as well too, they gave me a new oil, and they told me they wanted to run 500 miles and see if it had resolved the problem. So I get the bike back, I run up to maybe Tallahassee, come back, and I get back. The guy that fixed the bike checked the oil, the service guy checked the oil, and then actually the service guy that was helping me check it. So it was 3 people that checked the oil. So he gives me the bike back, and he says, I need you to go run another 500 miles. So I'm like, okay, no problem. But remember, after 500 miles, the oil was black. So they changed the oil, put me new oil in there, and then they checked it again. And being a customer, I'm thinking they're sending me back out for 500 miles so they can get documentation and possibly get it fixed through my extended warranty. But your intuition starts playing with you, and something said, just make sure you check the oil before you go anywhere. And when I checked the oil was black, and it didn't even register on the dipstick. So I'm like, so at that point, I'm furious. I call back down to Harley, and I'm like, if I'm a customer that I pretty much go there to get my bike fixed, why would you send a customer back out to do another 500 miles and the oil isn't even on the dipstick? That means I'm gonna potentially blow the bike up in a sense, and I'm not in the point of trying to blow my bike up. So then I got mad, took my bike, whatever the case may be, talked to the manager, whatever the case, he pretty much couldn't do anything for me. So I took it back to my people, the rod factory that normally fix my bike. And I just figured, through Harley I could get it fixed, and then they would just, resolve the problem. So after they didn't do that, so then I was, pretty much stuck back with my mechanic, which was, the rod factory, which I have all the trust in. I just wanted to make sure that, it was done right, and if they couldn't fix it, then I'm gonna take it back to my guy. So then he keeps the bike for a couple of days, and he goes through the engine. He took the bike apart, the cylinders, all that stuff, to try to see if the valve seats were leaking, to see if the rings around the pistons were leaking. And based on what he said, pressure test, leak down test, all that, nothing registered as being done incorrectly. So I get, he fixes that, and then I get the bike back, and I ask him, I'm like, well, I'm willing to see how much it's going to cost me to get this thing to, run. So he's like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. And I looked at it, and I'm like, hey, are you serious? He's like, don't worry about it, because I know that's at least maybe a $2,000 job. And he's like, don't even worry about it. I just want to make sure that you're happy, and just make sure that the bike is running correctly. So I'm like, oh man, that's like, dude, that was a blessing. So I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's go try it again. So I take the bike and I run it up to, I want to say like Lake City, Florida, or something like that. And I come back, and the oil was golden, and I was dude, so much in awe, and just grateful that this man he fixed my bike and for nothing, and now I got gold oil and everything's running good. I'm not getting any of the ticking. So for this particular ride, I got a ride coming up where we're going to DC, and I'm like, I got to make sure like I can go on at least 1,000 miles and see if my oil is somewhat still golden or it is holding, on the dipstick. And this is where you pretty much see that I'm going to Atlanta, which is, I believe, is over like 1,000 miles. It's like 4 something to wherever I'm going, but I know I'll be riding around when I get there. So I think on my dipstick it registered 1,000 miles. So this is what you're pretty much going to see, some of the things that went on while we were going there. And I'll just give you some updates about the cam and how it goes in relation to what it used to do, and then some things that I did along the way. But just hang tight, and hopefully you enjoy the video. I included this portion because this bridge is pretty awesome. It has some divots in the bridge, so it kind of gives you the idea like you're galloping on a horse. So as I'm driving along, I'm probably holding my handlebars with one hand and probably tapping the back like I'm galloping on a horse. But this is one of the parts that I enjoy on I-75 northbound.
board. It said a light coat.
Harley ain't put none.
That ain't gonna stop nothing from happening. Well, hey, you ain't me and me ain't you. I done ran out of that. No, I'm good.
I gotta get me a GoPro.
Hey man, we down here at Flying Brothers. Down here with Jake and Chris. What city is this?
Lawrenceville.
This is Lawrenceville, Indiana. No, I'm just playing. Lawrenceville, Georgia. Hey, yesterday, this is a shame. See this red bike right here? Yesterday, we get ready to leave, and Jake make us turn off our truck. The exhaust is probably, the truck exhaust is probably like similar to a NASCAR exhaust. So we think, you know, we don't know too much about every bike. So I'm looking at the motor. I'm like, God damn. So he turns off the truck. Jake say, watch this. He turns it on and you couldn't even hear this shit. Not at all. You couldn't, it didn't even have no rumble or nothing. But this over here at Flying Brothers, you know what I mean? Right there. There's Jake right there. The cream brother right there. And then we got the tan one over there, that's Chris. Jake specialized. He specialized in motocross.
Yeah, that's my so my girlfriend, that's her.
There it is. Right there it is. So this is the shop. They specialize in tires. What do y'all specialize in? Tires. Specialize in tires. So if you want your tire done, come on down, man. Good rates, all that good stuff. But it's a nice little place. So if you're in the area, come out, get a guys a holler. We'll go in the showroom real quick. We'll go in the showroom. Go to the showroom. They say they do oil changes too. You need an oil change. Now, you know, look, they gotta be struggling. Look, how you gonna tell the customer you got drinks and it ain't nothing in there but a bottle of water? Ain't that something? But anyways, it's the shop. Nice little digs. Yeah, come on out, get the people a little piece of your change. And I'll see if I can get that on there. I don't want to go too far behind the counter. I might think you want to steal something. But yeah, those are the prices. But this is Flying Brothers in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And they pretty much specialize in changing tires. So if you need your tire, come on out. Some oil change, just minor things. Come on out and tell them we sent you. But nah, we down here with the wheel. Nephew had some wheel problems. We came over here yesterday and the wheel wouldn't necessarily balance, so we thinking we got a defective tire. So we're gonna go try it out and then see if we got to put the old tire back on there or send that one back and get another one. But that's what we are. There go his bike. We put the tire on it yesterday, but it just wouldn't balance out. So we're gonna let Jake do his thing, see if he can rebalance it again. If it don't balance, then we'll probably put that old tire back on there and send the other one back for a defective. But like I said, this is Flying Brothers, man. Come get a piece of some of your change if you're in the area. Lawrenceville, Georgia.
And I get out, and then just coming, she moving. I'm already in the middle. She's still coming. I'm looking at these things. She's still going.
Hey, we just got one pulled up. We got the Road King. Here we go. Look at that. We got that Road King. Oh! We got the same speaker lids. Yeah. There it is. She needs to be a little clean. But she nice. She nice. Look at her. I'm gonna have to put the camera closer. I already got the 2 speaker lids on there. Got the 2 speaker lids on there. Where we at? There we go. That's nice. I gotta ask him about this, about these speakers he got on there. What else? He got that nice plush seat on there. A little short. I like it. And he got that red thing going on in them headlights. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, he probably got his music done at the same place. And then look at the uniqueness, man. Yeah, that up there. But no, that's that Road King. There it is. Just in case, you know, might have some sportsters out there, sportster fans. And this what pulled up at the shop while we were waiting. Nice looking little bike. Look like he cut the end. Maybe I might be wrong, but it looked like that's cut. But no, that's clean. That's clean. I like the little black on there on his wheels. Yeah. Pretty cool. Everybody going with that. It's pretty cool. He got all kind of stuff on the back end back there. I don't know what's going on. But I'm gonna ask him about these spark plugs. Pretty cool. What that is, we gotta ask him about that too. What is that?
Just before this, we filled up a little bit just to make sure we had a full tank before we left. But then we had ran into some problems. That's where you saw the video where we went back to Fine Brothers because his wheel was not balanced. It would give you that wiggly on ice type feel. So we took it back, and that's where you got a chance to see the shop and all the things that we talked about there. But after we got the wheel balanced, and he come to the conclusion that he would have to put some forms of beads inside of the tire to balance it correctly. I just told him, hey, you just lead me back to the highway and then I'll just go from there. And what you see now is basically when he left me, I probably drove for the next 2 hours in the rain, which was terrible. But at the same time, it gave me some, clarification or conviction about the tires that I had and the new setup that I'm running. From the videos and previous, just put on a 21 and I have brand new tires on there, which I'm running Shinkos, which have the white walls on them. And I feel that the tires were really good, man. I was running maybe 70 to 80 mile an hour in the rain. Another attribute that I liked about the trip as well too, not only did I get a chance to get rained on, but I got a chance to use some of my gear. It's been a while since I've been out riding it this extensive, so I got a chance to use my raincoat and do that. And also too, I have the modular helmet, which if you have one, it flips up and down. And I have a pin lock system in it. And it seems as though every time I wear the pin lock system, we use the pin lock system to stop condensation from getting inside the lens, which is restricting your line of sight. So what I learned was I opened the vent so that the vent would allow some air to get in, thinking that if the air gets in, it'll kind of defrost the lens. So after a while of driving, it would not defog, and I got into some trouble. I couldn't see it, so I had to open up the shield, which was not necessarily a good idea, but it was better than not being able to see. So what I learned was if you keep the vent closed, the shield will stay somewhat clear. And what I mean by somewhat clear, I mean just like as if it was not even raining. So that was another good thing. Also learned to driving with this 21, the wheel doesn't necessarily feel a lot of the imperfections in the road. It rode pretty straight, it was smooth and everything. Going into the curves, I didn't feel that death wobble sometimes you feel when you go into the curves. It just seemed like it was nice and smooth as it was driving or riding along. So I just learned a lot of things here. Every time I stop, I brought some Lucas precondition for the gas and the intake. So every time I stop, I added 1 ounce of the Lucas to the gas, and that way, I just felt like as I kept driving and progressively going about my route, the gas mileage probably got a little better, and at the end, you'll see where it was really good. So just keep watching. Right here, if you've been watching my video, you know I'm willing to push to see what I could get on my gas. So what happened was that I was going to try to stretch it and get to the next exit, which was probably like another 20 miles away, maybe 15, whatever. But anyways, I stopped early, so I was like, yeah, let me try. If I give out of gas, I'm not that far away from a gas station, so I'll do what I gotta do. So what I did was I was getting off the exit, then I think, let me see if I can make it to 190. So come to find out, it's a little farther there. The 190, it was like 194, whatever it is. You'll see in the result. once I get off the interstate, I'm thinking that the gas station was on this side of the road, but my GPS was talking to me in my helmet. So I had to make a U-turn and then go across the street to the gas station.
My Cena is about to give out, so I'm about to try something. I'm gonna put my battery charger down here and run the cord to it and see if it'll stay. If I lose it, I lose it, and if I don't, I don't, whatever. But when I get to the house, we'll see if it lasts. And pray to God it don't rain before I get there, because I don't need to get it wet. All right, here we go. We'll see.
Well, the charger lasted the entire time till I got home, and no, it did not rain, so it continued to charge my headpiece. Also, as you can tell from the gas results, when I initially started it was like 170 something, and then that last fill up I got 190, which was pretty much the 5.8 gallons that I had been refueling up. So basically I gained 20 miles on the gallon. So I just feel like this video was somewhat productive. You know, we learned a lot about the 21-inch wheel that we just put on there. We also learned about the face shield and how the pin lock system actually works. So hopefully going forward, that'll be beneficial to me driving in the rain. Also, I'm realizing that this cam is pretty awesome. The first and second, as far as accelerating and trying to get away and going a little faster off initial start, is awesome. My fifth and sixth gear is awesome as well too. I don't have to downshift to fifth gear unless I really need to get some power to pass. But other than that, sixth gear holds up pretty good, and it does really well. All in all, the trip was somewhat of a success, and hopefully in the next coming weeks we'll be headed out to DC and we'll get some more footage for you guys to watch. So until then, stay tuned.